If the prices dropped again, you'd really want solar and things like that. But to put batteries in, that's the biggest thing we ask on a weekly basis is, do I put batteries? And people calling up trying to get them to design a system for cryptocurrency and stuff like that to mine back. It's just not worth it from a financial point of view. Hey guys, Mike from the Offgrid shop here. Today I want to talk about solar mining with Bitcoin miners. Now, I want to make a video about this. I get a couple of calls a week of people wanting to install batteries and solar and everything to mine Bitcoin. We've been doing this for a bit of time now. So I just want to show you our data and share our data with you and show you exactly what we do and how we do it and whether it's worth investing in. So I'm going to run you through some stats. So this is our shop. We've got some miners here at our business and also at home. So I'll talk you one through at our work. So this is our energy consumption at work. So at work we do have batteries. So this is our Victron system, which will talk you through the energy consumption here, how we use that. This is a commercial monitoring we use called Solar Analytics, which is going to show you how the monitoring works and what energy we're using. And yeah, we got batteries and stuff installed and whether it's worth it. So yeah, I'll run through how it works. So here at work we mine a couple of different coins. So I'll show you over here what we mine. We mine Ethereum. So at work here, every 1.5 months, every quarter, so every 3 months, we get a 1.5 Ethereum from our mining machines here mining Ethereum. We've got some Bitcoin miners. With Bitcoin, we get like 0.00015 or something ridiculous, so it's a little bit of amount. And we also mine Litecoin and Dogecoin, which is the Dogecoin. Dogecoin's come out of nowhere, and it's actually made some of our Litecoin miners really profitable. Because that's, so I'll talk you through what we do. So let's jump in. Let's talk about the energy consumption, how it works. So we've got here, I think we've got 3 Bitcoin miners, we've got 3 Dogecoin miners or Litecoin miners, and we've got an Ethereum miner here at the shop. So we've got quite a few miners. So we actually pull 10,000 watts all day long. So this is our load. We're pulling 10,000 watts all day long from those miners. This little spike here, it's actually the hot water timer. The timer's changed. I've required to fix that, so we're not using our hot water. And yeah, so this is what happens when the sun comes up. So as you can see, when the sun comes up, this blue line here is actually our lights. So we'll get rid of that. That's when I turn the lights on in the morning when I get to work. Crank those lights up. So our lights use about 1,000 watts here at work. And so what happens is, as the sun rises, that's what all this stuff here is, we start to self-consume the solar. So the brown is what we're self-consuming, and the yellow is what we're feeding back to the grid. What happens here, because we do have lots of different solar systems here for testing purposes and things like that, and we just don't have them all monitored on this program, what happens here is another solar inverter cranks up and you actually just can't see it on this system here. So we just can't see the solar. So it looks like our production drops down, but really it's another solar inverter which starts cranking that time of day. As you see the dip here, this is our batteries kicking in. So when we do everything from batteries, so that's the batteries getting dumped. So we've only issued a 5 kVA battery inverter, and so we pull 10 kilowatts, so we pull half that load from batteries, and so we sort of get through, what time is that? So it's about 4 o'clock. We're losing the sun here in the middle of winter. This is the 17th of May. We lose the sun, and we go from batteries, half of it from batteries, so we're only a 5 kVA inverter, and pretty much we go back to sucking everything from the grid at, what time's that? About 6 o'clock, so about 10 to 6. So we've only got, we run 3 of these Power Plus batteries. There's an Australian-made battery, lithium battery down here, down under. We've got 12 kilowatt hours and we only pull 9 kilowatt hours, so we 10. It's about, we use 80% of the battery capacity, so we pull 10 kilowatt hours from them. So yeah, so that's the energy consumption. I want to have a look over here and I'll show you on the Victron. And this is our monitoring system for our batteries. So you can see this here. We'll actually just pop this up. I won't worry about that one. We'll just jump into this here. We'll go down to the consumption. So go consumption the last 30 days. I'll just do it for the last, let's go the last 7 days to give us a bit of a better number. The graphs are a bit better to see. So as you can see here today, we've pulled 88 kilowatt hours from the grid. We've done 4 from batteries and 6 from solar. And this is not reading everything properly because, like I said, this one here is actually technically, it's our off-grid system in our shop. So our lights, our computers and things like that, the grid fails. We've got batteries to back up and deal with this, but the reality is batteries are flat. Of a day, we'd be fine. Our batteries get charged and that sort of stuff. But overnight, if we had grid failure overnight, we wouldn't have any power for the backup circuits. So you can actually see here, we're taking 171 kilowatt hours from the grid and 9 from batteries and 22 from solar, 18 from solar there, 888. So that's what we're sort of consuming. So is it now worth it to do this sort of stuff? Now, I'll just sort of give you an example. We'll just talk about the Ethereum mining. So it all comes down to price. Now, if you look at the Ethereum price right now, the Ethereum's at $3,000 US. So find a calculator here. So our energy bill at the shop's about $1,200 a quarter is what we do. We pay extra because we use a company called Snow River Hydro. There's a lot of Red Energy is a company name, but they actually own the Snow River Hydro, so they're putting renewables into the grid. We actually pay extra to make sure that we are putting extra renewables into the grid to cover our costs, and we're doing this all renewable. There's a lot of stuff where Elon Musk is getting around telling at the moment that Bitcoin mining is bad for the environment, things like that. And the reality is to make Bitcoin profitable when the prices are down, you require the cheapest form of energy, and that's actually hydro. All around the world, there's loads of solar mining farms in Canada and China, and a lot of them are set up next to the hydro outlets because it's cold. The computers like to be cold, the miners, and they can use the excess power from the hydro, and the closer they are to it and that sort of stuff, you use it. And in the software for the program for the Ant miners, one of the biggest miners, they do a lot of work where actually in the programs, the hydros can turn the miners on and off when they want, things like that, and use it as a dump load. So there's some cool features in the miners to actually work with the grid, with the network basically. So we'll work this calculation out. So we're down here in Australia. For us, an Ethereum's $3,000. We divide that by 0.70. So it's about $4,200. So for us, we'll just times that by 1.5. I can't see my microphone, so we times that by 1.5. So it's about $6,500. So we mine one Ethereum over a quarter, so over 3 months. We spend about $1,200 on electricity, and now the electricity we spend, it runs our business, it charges our electric cars, our electric motorbikes. We cycle batteries and stuff for customers before we send them out and all that sort of stuff. So we're spending $1,200 on our electricity bill, but we're getting back $6,500 worth of Ethereum every quarter. Now, if that was half the price when we first started doing this stuff, Ethereum was, less than $700 basically. So yes, it is profitable. Now, it is actually profitable right now, whether you have solar or not. That is the reality. And that's the reason for us. We pop back to the solar analytics. You can sort of see our data back towards November when Ethereum and stuff like that wasn't actually expensive. We used to not run the miners all the time. So basically we'd only run it when the excess solar and stuff like that. When the Ethereum, the price went up, everything jumped up, it made sense financially to continue mining all night long. So we actually did that. So you can actually see our history here. We used to feed loads back to the grid and we'd consume miners, and because the prices went crazy, of course, we loaded up, we got more miners and stuff like that. And we definitely consume a lot more these days than what we used to. So now give you an example of a really cool product. So it is profitable to do it. And if you look at, you can jump on some, Dogecoin. We'll just talk about Dogecoin at the moment, or Dogecoin, or whatever you want to call it. Dogecoin wasn't actually profitable. It didn't used to be profitable. I really wish you could actually change the price in here, but I've actually whacked it in. So a Dogecoin miner, we're actually a Litecoin miner. They're called an L3 Plus. If you buy an L3 Plus in Australia, you can pick them up on eBay for about $350 is what they're going to cost you. And they'll mine Litecoin and Bitcoin. Now, the Litecoin mining is not profitable at all. Litecoin and Dogecoin. The Dogecoin is what makes it profitable. So if you paid $350, I'll put this link in the description below, what to mine, so you can have a play around the calculations and stuff yourself. It would really take the revenue. So this takes your investment, everything into consideration. You make 43 cents an hour, basically. I'll put the electricity cost in about 10 cents a kilowatt hour for US. In Australia here, we pay about 20 cents. That's what I do my numbers on per kilowatt hour. So after a month, you've made about $350 or $310. So really, and this actually does take the calculations and stuff like that of your hardware costs into consideration. So up here, you can put your hardware costs and things like that in there, how much power you're going to use. So they're actually really good. What this is really good for is a big problem here in Australia and a lot of networks around the world. In the middle of the day, we get a lot of excess solar going back to the grid, and it's not good. Now, this is a company called Catch Power. These guys, they make a product which is divert hot water excess. So when your solar's feeding back to the grid, Catch Power says, hey, hang on, we get no money for that. Let's actually divert that into your hot water system and turn your hot water system into a battery. So if you're thinking about a battery and get the grid available, 100% one of the best money you could spend is buy a Catch Power and install rather than a battery. Now, they actually have another product which is called a Catch Relay, and this is actually what this is a picture of, their Catch Relay. So what happens, these guys have a 30 kilowatt solar system or something like that, maybe 35 kilowatt. It's actually probably not that big. This one, it's probably about a 13 or 14 kilowatt, and they export limited to 5, I'm pretty sure. So what happens is Catch Relay, so it turns loads on consistently. So what happens, it lets it feed back to the grid. It might turn a couple of miners on here, and then all day long, as the system's feeding back to the grid, the Catch Relay turns the miners on and actually takes that extra solar and turns it into Bitcoin. I think these guys mine Ethereum and Bitcoin with this system here. And then the Catch Relay, when it starts to say, okay, well, hang on, we're buying energy from the grid, let's turn it off. So it's pretty cool how these Catch Relays work, and they're all fully programmable. And here's a picture of another one, a great example where solar's cranking. This is the bigger system. Here we go. So these guys have got a 30 kilowatt system. The solar's cranking, so the miners only come on over a day. And you can see here, the guys have done this as an example. They've turned the solar off in the middle of the day to show that the relay, the Catch Relay, turns off, shuts all the miners down, turn the solar back on, and the relays come back on. So this here is actually taking your excess solar and turning it into crypto assets, basically. And it really depends what you're into and mining. Not all tokens can be mined. Now, a lot of our customers off-grid, I'd highly recommend, if you're off-grid, it's probably not the best solution to do with your excess energy. You use this stuff. This is more related for grid-connected customers. If you're export limited and you want to do something with your extra solar, so the numbers we did for us, so at the moment in Australia, when you feed solar back to the grid, you get about 10 cents a kilowatt hour back from the grid. If we actually use that same energy and turn it into crypto assets, so into Ethereum, Bitcoin, or Dogecoin, or something like that, it works out for us, we're actually getting paid about 78 cents per kilowatt hour for our excess feed-in, so it's amazing, is what it works out to be. So if you're a grid-connected customer, I'd highly recommend, and you're into this sort of stuff and you believe in it, like I said, the prices go up and down and stuff like that. So it's about picking something. In my opinion, this stuff's going to change the world. There's lots of really cool things about that, which we'll go into some other videos about some really cool products that we're using here in Australia. You can actually get VB for free from your excess solar if you're a drinker. I don't drink, or don't drink that much anymore. You can actually get free solar from your VB for what you feed back from a company called Diamond Energy. So they actually use the blockchain. So they use a blockchain technology to record all that sort of stuff. So some really cool products which we've done in the video. But if you're an off-grid customer, if you're a grid-connected customer, you can mine with Bitcoin, Litecoin, and use your excess energy. If you're off-grid and you want to get into mining, there's some really cool things that are coming out. And I love these things. We've actually purchased one of these for ourselves. Low RAN technology is what these guys use, which is a low energy network for sending data. If you think about Lime scooters is probably a good example around the world, that the little scooters that cruise about, they use a low energy network, the low RAN network. So they don't have a GPS in them, they fly past, they ping a signal off to the low RAN network. And then what happens, that data gets sent back. And what these miners are, they're part of the low energy network. You can actually put these on your roof, and these actually mine a cryptocurrency called MXC. They mine Bitcoin, they take forever to mine Bitcoin, Polkadot, and a few other things. So there's also another one called helium. Now helium, these are ideal for off-grid customers. So if you're off-grid and you really want to get into this stuff, because most customers off-grid get limited batteries, limited solar and things like that, these use hardly any energy. With helium in Australia, it's not that big. If you're in Australia and you really want to do it, I'd highly recommend look at one of these MXCs products. If you're overseas, look into helium. Now both these guys are competitive with each other, they're going to get down, they'll end up doing the same products and really compete. Helium's just released a 5G network. So basically, you can install one of these little devices on the roof of your house and you actually own part of that 5G network. So what happens when someone drives past your house and they're using 5G, they'll pick up that signal and you will get paid basically in cryptocurrency or crypto assets. You'll get paid that for someone using your 5G. So I think this is going to be huge and really change the industry. And what these people are looking for, they're looking for really reliable grids, people with reliable networks. So if you're off-grid and got really good reliable energy off-grid systems, you'll be able to use this here because you pretty much got power all the time, rather than most where the grid goes down from time to time. You will actually have power majority of the time, so you'll be able to put one of these things up, get made. Now, the numbers on these things here, they take about 200 days for the M2 Miner Pro and for the Helium network to pay for himself. If you're in Australia, I probably wouldn't look at the Helium right now at the moment. Something I'd probably leave in the future. They're doing some 5G testing in the States. And also the low REN network, just the way the Helium miner is probably not the best thing here in Australia. So something to think about and have a look at. So yeah, guys, so that's sort of to answer your question and go back to whether it's profitable or not. Now, I would say yes. And I would say there's no use going putting big batteries in and things like that. Like right now, you could just buy a crypto miner if you don't have solar. You could put it in Australia because the prices are really high and put in and actually make money out of it. If the prices dropped again, you'd really want solar and things like that. But to put batteries in, that's the biggest thing we ask on a weekly basis is, do I put batteries? And people calling up trying to get them to design a system for cryptocurrency and stuff like that to mine back. It's just not worth it from a financial point of view. Because, you know, the reality of the cost of putting the battery in, you don't really save much at all. And we've done the numbers, and if you do a true off-grid system with batteries and things like that, it costs you about 20 cents a kilowatt hour over time with batteries, is what, you know, by the time you take cost of your system and stuff like that, it costs you about 20 cents a kilowatt hour in Australia to buy and sell from batteries. And you can actually achieve that from time of use. You can get about an average of a day. If you've got solar system up of a day, you don't buy anything from the grid. And then overnight, you use your off-peak from 10 o'clock through to 7 in the morning, which is, you know, some places you can get 15 cents a kilowatt hour. So there's a lot of smart systems out there and that sort of stuff. So it's not worth it to go out and install batteries and try and do all this sort of stuff unless you got some really cheap secondhand, like I know you can pick up Telstra batteries and things like that. So, but I wouldn't be going out and invest in a brand new set of lithium batteries purely just to mine crypto assets and things like that. So yeah, guys, I hope this has been helpful to help out of what's profitable, how it works, and whether batteries is worth it off-grid. I'll put all these links in below, so if you want to look into mining some things and what it's worth, all the links will be in the description below. If you have any questions, yeah, just whack a comment on YouTube. If you've got something else, appreciate the like and subscribe to the channel. So thanks, guys, and have a great day.